We continue talking about escalations in the Russia-Ukraine war as Russian forces launched a devastating drone and missile strike on Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, earlier on Saturday morning, killing 3 people and injuring at least 3 others. Explosions rocked the city as air defences intercepted the missiles, though one missile shot down at low altitude still caused significant damage. Buildings, including a shopping mall and metro station, were severely impacted, with debris scattered across the streets. In southern Ukraine, additional attacks killed 3 more individuals, 1 in Zaporizhzhia from a missile strike and 2 in Kherson from a Russian shelling. The Ukrainian military reports the destruction of 24 out of 39 drones and 2 of 4 missiles launched in the overnight assault. We'll first head to our correspondent, Aditya Wadwan. Aditya, can you provide us some more context, please, on these strikes that have caused death and destruction across Ukraine?
Well, Josh, if you see, Kyiv has been repeatedly, the Russian forces have been targeting Kyiv time and again. They have, launched missiles or bombarded Kyiv. This time around they have targeted the hospital, the metro station, and some residential buildings in Kyiv. About 3 people have been dead. All the 3 people, the 3 people belong to the residential areas nearby to the metro station. And what has happened so far, where the Russian missiles have hit the places in Kyiv, there are firefighters still on the ground that have been dozing off the fires, and the entire area has been cordoned off, so that the fire safety measures and all the other procedures can be carried out as per the set standard operating procedures. Now it needs to be seen as to how much more time will the Ukrainian firefighters take to doze off the fire that has been caused by the Russian missile attack in Kyiv. It needs to be seen. The US President-elect Donald Trump has vowed that as soon as he sworn in as the US President, he will end this Russia-Ukraine war. Yes, George, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Aditya. We are also joined by Andrea Lucidi, a war reporter who's joining us from Moscow in Russia. Andrea, we're seeing Russian fighting and offensives moving forward. There have also been military ground offensives with more land taken in the Donetsk region. Can I get from you an understanding of Russia's tactics of hitting Ukraine from further within due to strikes and also drone attacks, but then also the continuation of the forward movement on the ground?
Hello. For my point of view, we have in front of 2 different situations. In the ground, the Russian forces are trying and are concentrating the offensive in the Donetsk Popular Republic because, from my point of view, they want to control more territory till negotiation with Ukraine and with the new government of the US. In the second situation, we assist to a massive offensive against the strategical structure of Ukraine, like electrical nets, like power stations, and like eating station in the big cities, in the capital and in other big cities of Ukraine. This it's happened because the Russian forces want to disable any perspective for the military industrial of Ukraine. In the big cities, there are a lot of structures that are producing now drones that are very dangerous in this war and that are used for disable the big weapon system like cannons and like tanks. So for Russian and Ukraine, for both parts in this conflict, is fundamental as a strategic have the try to disable the production of drones for both sides.
We're also joined by Glenn Grant, who's an ex-advisor for the Defence Minister of Ukraine, joining us from Latvia. Thank you for joining us, Glenn. Looking at the statement there in terms of Russia's military aims, targeting specific areas like energy sector, targeting military facilities. These strikes seem to have targeted areas that are more civilian based. So we've had strikes on a shopping mall, we've had strikes on other civilian areas. What do you think the purpose of those strikes are?
Well, the first thing before I start, I need to say to Andrea that Donetsk is not a popular republic by any stretch of the imagination. I'm sorry, it's an occupied zone of Ukraine by Russia. There's no republic there, never has been, never will be. I know this area well from the last strike because I actually lived there for 3 years and I was there 2 weeks ago. And what Russia is doing by saying that this is something to do with American weapons is deeply cynical, because they've actually attacked the Lukyanivska area about 6 times. And you remember they actually hit the hospital, which is at the top of the hill from the metro station. So what they're trying to do is, it's just straightforward, cynical terrorism of people. The Lukyanivska metro has got a supermarket behind it. It's got the first ever McDonald's next to it. But more importantly, there's the extremely busy farmers market just alongside it. They've hit this area now about 6 times, including just before Christmas and further back from that in August. In fact, I was there the time just before Christmas as well when they hit it. And it's just pure and simple attack on civilians, but this time was even more cynical. And the Indian listeners need to understand the cynicism of this. First of all, they did an attack, so everybody went down into the metro. And then when the attack finished, then they launched an Iskander missile, which is extremely short time of flight. So they caught people coming out of the metro, they caught people coming out, going to the supermarket and everything else. They knew completely well what they were doing, which is to get the maximum amount of human beings out on the ground when they attack with something. And they were successful, and 3 were killed and many more injured.
Thank you very much, Glenn Grant and Andrea Lucidi, for joining us. We will, of course, continue to bring you all of the updates from the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine.